Welcome back. New game, new rules. Okay, look. Final hypothesis on disclosure at the ends of times. This is just a guess, so who knows. All right, I'm going to read something to you. The last living creature watching Discovery Challenger Atlantis penetration tests is Ordovician rollover amoeba or a protozoa, extremophile class, 15 to 30 feet, capable of flying, swimming, and landing on land using pseudopods with a Botox overdose, blinding and coring bad souls for trespassing on native lands. Sacred. Sounds like apple trees, same from religion, except multiple as they had no fences. Examples: Sylvie's Ranch, Skinwalker, Colorado. Travis Walton wasn't a shaman that was getting a ride. It was native lands. He couldn't read the codex and got booted. 9 billion light year free ride, bad guest. As theists are older. Skin color, respect. Buzz Lightyear said, "Don't come back." Angels recited the first commando: above the clouds or below the deepest oceans. Stay grounded. Let's see. If you flowchart responses and shapes, Biology 101, and scale accordingly. And if at the bottom of Antarctica watchers are there, you've got your culprit. It seems serpent, angel, serpent is God's crew, Thunderbird and dragons are theism, and there's rabbits and beef steer with humans in the middle. But in the United States, men in black hide the bodies, unlike foreign countries like the Dyatlov Pass incident. And I'm going to show you some of that. Let's see. Notes: the STS tether incident in space did not include binary and multiple fission, which happens under stress. The Tic Tac video split into two, tic-tac-toe, and underwater we're going to show you one that performs multiple fission, and we'll show you somebody else's video showing binary fission, and we're going to show you their elemental gas consumers, and black, white, and color is neutrality with earth tones. My main page is the earth tone under the clouds. You've seen the ones above the sky that are transparent, opaque, and now I'm going to show you underwater, which backs up the theory of Buzz Lightyear got told the first commandments, long version. So let's take a peek at some videos. This video's at 3,700 feet. This YouTube commercial is as well. And this is from an ROV. You can see our depth is at 1,096 meters. Is your cage. Depth of the ROV, 1145. And it's most likely an oil drilling rig ROV, checking it out ahead of time, as you can see here. And we're going to see, just like the Tic Tac video, this is a death roll, just like a crocodile, warning you should not be here, trying to make communications, showing a light pattern, nice soft visuals, nothing human here, does a death roll as a warning, you're not welcome here, and then performs multiple fission once again underwater, kapoo in a tube, and takes off. Now, we're going to switch here. Science News Explorers. Amoebas are crafty, shape-shifting engineers is Biology 101 introduction, and you're going to need to look up the search terms binary and multiple fission. One means like a kitty had a litter, and the other one means the kitty had one kitty that's the same memory and same exact body physical features. Now, we've seen some UFO videos that look like little hats floating around, and all of the shapes will match, as well as the response chart, which is really simplistic. And I can show you the response chart is right here. And they come out at nighttime, most commonly the dark. Contact with floor is okay, chemicals avoided. Don't be a prick, they'll run. If they're attracted to electronics and high voltage, the STS incident was just that with the first introduction. And here's the temperature, but what's not shown is this would be the same as a laser. They're going to repel from it and run away from it. So let's run with that hypothesis, as the rest of these have been proven. Keep in mind, we're talking about fresh water, so the only reason they would dip into the ocean is under threat, because saline could kill them. So on your Tic Tac video, a thunderbird is chasing a thunderbird, and it's running away. I wonder if Dragon 1 can see down from up above. So I wonder what they're seeing out there. I'm getting confused. If you're into religion, I think they're called serpent in the apple tree. It's somewhere in the beginning of the Bible, a Johnny Appleseed story. Not sure. So now we're going to talk about the Dyatlov Pass incident, and we're going to go to their site, and we're going to find what's missing in the United States after our forefathers came here. They had a secret project to cut these trees down that marked sacred native land, and the natives told the government, don't go there, we don't go there. Otherwise, a serpent will show up, and in this case it must have been native land, and I'll show you a few pictures here. It flew in, really simplistic, and it's still flying and landing as somebody's trespassing on native land. And it's beginning to land. Looks like a ghost. It's checking to see if they're religious. It's doing a light show that you should not be here and cracking a little bit of lightning. And here's the most interesting picture passed up. A double-headed dragon. If you split this in half, you can see the dragon here. And, oops, I'm going to do a blow-up of that in a second. Let's see here. Mr. Anonymous Cameraman, could there possibly be two dragons facing each other and those teeth of a serpent? Wow. And do you see which way? There's a dragon this way and this way, laterally, facing each other, correct? There we go. Now, this isn't the greatest computer to play with contrast. I know all of you pareidolia experts like me can do this, but you'll come up with this picture, and the unfortunate results were some very nice people were in the wrong place at the wrong time and were blinded exactly like a cattle mutilation and cored out from the inside out. Here's another example of a dragon in flight near the ground. That's from dyatlovpass.com. This is from a border in the United States, and it's the exact same video, the exact same thing, flight and showing the different shapes. Now, let's fast forward. Now it kind of changes to where it looks like a ghost. The only place I know ghosts and dragons are religion and theism, and the only place I know shapeshifters like this is amoebas. So let's pause this, and all of these are on my site so you can take a peek. If you understand what an extremophile amoeba is, they're able to sustain in the highest depth pressures where humans can't go and most animals cannot. Antarctica has them there where the Watchers reside, and the military moved in underneath there that Linda Moulton Howe was talking about. And in Chernobyl, they're currently eating away at the radiation effects, if you can believe that. So these amoebas are well known in the scientific community, and if a amoeba rolled over from the Ordovician period of time where the scaling was incredibly different, and I can show you a picture to give you an idea at that time compared to a human. In our lifetime, we see little seashells. Here, we're seeing enormous scaling that's never been explained, and amoebas and protozoas on average 15 to 30 foot in diameter, with all the top of the food chain aggression going on. Had they floated to the surface and the wind caught them, they would have learned to sail. Had they learned to change shapes and consume elemental gases, they would have learned to float. And according to the history books in the medieval times, a dragon blew fire. So maybe they farted. Sorry, keep it together here. Okay, so now that we know about that, I went over to Thinker Thunker. He's on YouTube. And this would be an example. Whoops. This is not what I was going to show. This is the STS tether incident, where clearly you can see the same things spinning, and they're in space, able to extremophile adapt, as they are most likely a protozoa if you see a tail, and then if not. And this is a high voltage electricity equipment, just like the flow chart. They're attracted to electricity. Battleships that Luis Elizondo say is attacking. Here's one coming by, nice and slow, a bunch of them fast, but there's nothing chasing them, so no binary or multiple fission. Now, let's take a peek. There's many videos of this. Don't forget the government said it's illegal to point lasers up in the sky. And he's chasing one with a laser, and exactly like the flowchart response, it's running from him in this case, as it's the negative charge of light. Ever play Darth Vader? Man, I'm telling you, it's like playing Space Invaders. That's too cool. You can't catch them. Okay, so don't do that. That's not recommended. We looked up the Thunderbirds. That's a really interesting name. Dragon X, SpaceX Dragon, and Dragon 1 seem very interesting. Dragon put in first of one, referring to God if that person's a believer. I would say one perfection, just to be clear. Now, let's see. I'm missing a video, if you can believe that. Whoops. Okay, this is Thinker Thunker's video, and if this is correct, like Luis Elizondo's video, if this kicks out more than one clone, or anything comes out of it, quite frankly. Sorry, we're waiting. The name of the video is Mothership and Albert Prince Rupert, Baby Ships Pour Out. And it is a video of binary fission, which would prove the amoeba thesis, because as you can see on the side here, there are ejections coming out, which means more than one baby. And this gentleman's going to point it out, which is whoever runs Thinker Thunker. I believe they're into Bigfoot. I found his flip-flops. They don't fit me. And there was one discharge there. There's another. There's another. Keep in mind we're looking at an object from one angle, not seeing 360. So when it's ejecting from this back side here and all around where he's pointing out just one area, we're having a lot more clones come out that are identical memory, identical movements, identical knowledge. Okay? And that is over at Thinker Thunker. I believe he's out of Canada. And this is Wikipedia, Clostridium botulinum, however you pronounce that. But Clostridium, this first word, is the most important. And somewhere here it's going to say it's the most toxic to humans chemical that you can have that's naturally occurring in the ground. It grows in bacteria. Okay? It's utilized in Botox in small amounts as it doesn't, you don't want to liquefy the tissue. Now, under cattle mutilations, Los Alamos detected the presence of naturally occurring Clostridium bacteria in the heart, but was unable to reach any conclusions because of the possibility that the bacteria represented post-mortem contamination. No microscopic changes of pathological significance were found in the heart tissue. So when you get your soul cord and you don't have a heart and it's left and you're blind, I don't know, that's really suspicious that it matches the serpent protecting the apple tree, the thunderbird protecting sacred lands, and don't forget the chronological order. If you're in the United States, the natives were here first without fences. So these apple trees aren't set up where the states are, where the United States. Those were set up by us. So these apple trees are all over the place. By the way, I've contacted the sheriff of Harney County, which is Sylvie's ranch, and 3 times he asked me how to kill it before I hung up on him. Oops. Oops. This is a test. And we're going to go back here. And I'm going to read a little bit more to you. Here's more to the hypothesis. Cars stopping and radio skipping is fluorescent bulbs, the same thing that messes up RF frequencies, X and S band frequencies, and it also messes up Wi-Fi 6. Maybe that's why they're banning them in California and all the states. They're also making the elemental gas ampules illegal in the United States to obtain. So that's something that's interesting to do. If you want to see what their motion is in the air, you take one of those little plasma balls and put your finger towards the bottom where the neck of it is near the base, and you can see it spin. And that gives you an example of what it looks like inside of their many stomachs, which are called vacuoles. And in each of these, they can attach a pseudopod or turn it off, which empties or fills it with either food, elemental gases, or this deadly combination to fill its stomach with as a replacement for what it ate from the ground, if need be. Now, normally it would have ate the bacteria off of the ground, but if somebody like the sheriff from Harney County is there, I tried to give him a warning and he wanted to pull his gun out. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe when he was in Bible class, he could have figured out that the 6th commandment, thou shalt not kill, the 5th, or unnamed, is PTS because chaotic dreams sure ain't peaceful. So, let's read a little bit more good news. Special shout out to law enforcement if you're doing a good job staying away from apple trees. I have a few friends there. Okay, fast speeds. Well, storms provide atmospheric, rivers, tornadoes, things of that nature, and it's out in space. And you can actually have little tornadoes underwater, all the way at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. So we've got it in the bottom of the oceans, the deepest. We've got it on land, and we have it in space. And we have it on Mars, with Martians. What was that Martian picture that was sitting in the rocks, attached to the rocks, was this exact same amoeba with its pseudopods attached, holding on to survive, shedding its skin. So, what they're doing is they're slip and sliding. Don't forget the weather prior to HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, being a Tesla's stun gun pointed up at the skies, the clouds. They were called spirits originally. That was changed. So they can slip and slide at magnetic speeds. And if they're showing black color underwater, they're showing green, blue, neutral tones to stay grounded. And they're transparent or white or showing color, showing the light. I'm guessing that's heaven past the clouds or the esoteric planes. That should cover everybody. Now, let's take a peek. I think I got that. Oh, okay, look, this goes out to a slacker buddy. I got to leave a message for him. Kind of important. Look, hint. If I feed a U is a sheep, not you. Viagra in lieu of failure to O, can I get a C as in chupacabra? Or is 10 letters referring to sun, solar, tan, burn, is to God sent Jesus to teach, stay in the middle. And they're seen in 3 colors on land, in the air, and in the sky. But they're also seen on the moon going in the caves that the Watchers did from the Bible. That kind of makes sense. Which instruction manual are you guys using? We need to sync up. So, 0 is perfection, 1 is far too many mistakes. If they're telling you don't go into the deepest oceans and they're black and they're warning you, that matches what Buzz Lightyear said on the first commando, don't come back, is don't go above the clouds or into the deepest waters. And here on my main page, you'll see the shot is vividly purple, green, blue, and a tan color. Sure seems neutral to me, and it's also colorblind safe. Blue-green is a great colorblind safe if you have a friend. I write in that ink, by the way. Someday I'll show the light. So here we go. My definition of a pseudoscientist, if you look this up on definitions, they show the negative spectrum. So let's convert that back to positive spectrum. That means I'm able to explain to a scientist that's a trustworthy agnostic, somebody who's religious, or a theist, actual communications to 3 separate humans because you might look at life differently. Are you one of those people, cameraman? Are you all 3? Wow. Do you think there's somebody out there that isn't? So, if we're able to explain all 3 of these into one statement, it has to be neutrality. Stay neutral, find ground. I'm on allpoetry.com, the world's largest poetry site, where for the last few years I've had double-digiters tell me all about grounded and what not to say. I think every word that you're not supposed to say I've done. And it also teaches us to never look down at ourselves, at God, or at each other. I think that's a really important message to say here. And the last time that I checked, we're not on the top of the food chain if you're a believer. And if you're not a believer, I've got a friend that we've got a few sports cars in a foreign country with a lion. If you want to rent him, he'll be in the passenger seat. But I promised my buddy we'd feed him. So anyway, your lunch. Blinded, cored out souls. Not cattle mutilations. Blinded, cored out souls. The Dyatlov Pass incident had 2 more incidents afterwards where the government didn't say anything. And nearby is the Russian cosmonaut station at the time that were mimicking and duplicating all of the experiments that the American military, because we steal secrets from each other all the time. So that tether incident might have been duplicated, and they called them, and parachute bombs are about the only thing to get rid of them out of the sky where they land and they're agitated. So maybe the military had something to do with this. And by the way, I don't blame those kids. They went to a nice school. They were great kids. Extraordinary fluid. My deepest regrets to that family. However, the government didn't tell them don't go there. The natives said don't go onto this land. And the only way it can happen only is if it's sacred land or an apple tree. That's God's land right here on earth where we're all together. Now look, Oh, I got some more. There's some more good blue news. Stay in the middle. Let's see. Thanks for watching. Look, new game, new rules. Here's some stuff coming up. I wrote some more mathematics here, but we're going to do how to write, speak, nonlinear. Okay, and I have a sample that's written forwards, how to convert it, and how to do the wraparound. So coming next, and you can take a picture of that if you like, sir. You want to screen cap that, you're welcome to, because I'll come up with another one next week.